Welcome back, Crochet Piece fam. So I am reviewing this video done by Mama Crafty on TikTok. Oh, excuse me. And so I just kind of wanted to provide some tips for beginners when working on this pattern. So first and foremost, it's a great pattern. I love what she did there, and we're going to start out with 11 chains just like she did, and she's working in the back bump of the stitches once you do those 11 chains. Okay, so you know, if you're a beginner, you know by now, you know, you can work either in the front of the stitch or you can go in the back and work in that little thing that's kind of protruding out. So you're gonna do you have us go back into these stitches and do a single crochet in each one of them. Now I really do still recommend that you put your stitch markers in this, especially in this pattern. So I'm going to put my stitch marker in my very first stitch, and then when we get to the end of this row, we're going to be doing 3 in 1. So I'm going to put a stitch marker at the end as well. Okay, so we're doing 1 single crochet in each of the stitches across. 1 single crochet. In each of the stitches across until we get to the last one. I am using my new Burnett beginner maker. I'm sorry, it's not Burnett. It's actually Hobby Lobby beginner yarn to do this, because I feel like, well, you know, I like the beginner yarn. I think it helps, you know, make the pattern, make the project easier, especially when you're a beginner, because the yarn, it doesn't split. Okay, and then I think this is a great yarn for bikini top. So we get to the end here, and this is my last one. It's a little wobbly, so it's kind of difficult to see. Just do your best and make sure that you're putting one there. This doesn't count as a stitch. This is just the slip knot, but this little thing protruding up, that's going to be our last insertion point. So we're going to go into that, and we're going to do that 3 times in this last one. And she said that this makes the cup for the pattern. So this is what actually creates that curve effect that we need. So, all right, so I did that. And now I am going to go ahead and put my handy dandy stitch marker right here so that when I come back around, I can see, you know, where I am. Now, you may not want to put a stitch marker, but you know how I feel about that. All right, so we're going to go right here and put the stitch marker in the last stitch that I did, the stitch of 3. Okay? All right. And this is what it should look like once you have finished. All right, and you can count your stitches. So we started out with 11, so we should have 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And the reason being is because we added those extra 2, right? We skipped 1 and we added the extra 2 in the last one, all right? Okay, so now the next step is that we're going to now be working on the opposite side of those chains. So we worked on this side, now we're going to work, so we're going all the way around. We're not flipping it over and coming back this way. We're going to keep going and do 1 single crochet in each of these going down. Okay, so we've already done 3 in here, right? So we're not going to do another one in there. We're going to go ahead and go down to the next one right here. You see? So we did this one 3 times where that knot is. Our next one is going to be here. Okay? Makes sense? Yes. All right, so we're going to do 1 on each of those. And this little tail guy, I would cover him with my stitches so that he doesn't get in the way. And so there's that one. I'd cover him as I go along. So you see how I'm like tucking him under that? Like so. Alright, you're just going to keep going down. And you're putting one in each of them. And it's going to curl a bit because, well, mine especially because of the type of yarn I'm using, but because of the shape also. So I got down here to the end. And this is what my piece looks like now. So this is going to be the top of the bra cup. Okay, that's where that three that we put in is. And this is going to be the bottom of the bra cup. So if you want to put two different types of stitch markers, you can. That'll be helpful, right? Like you could put a different color stitch marker down here. You know, stitch markers come in all different types. You can have, they have the plastic ones. You can have two different color safety pins to help you identify it. All right, so I made it all the way down to the end. And this is what I look like. Okay, so now that we've gotten to the end, we're gonna turn our work and we're gonna go back this way. And we're gonna come around it because we're making like a cup, right? Okay, so let's do that. So she says we're not gonna do any chains. We're just gonna go ahead and start going right in here. Okay, so we're going to go right into here and we're going to do a single crochet. And we're going to do that until we get to that point where we have the stitch marker. That's the point, remember, that we did the chain of 3. No, that's the point where we did the single crochet of 3. Okay, so these are the 3. So this is the 1, 2, 3, right? That we did in the same insertion point. So she says she wants us to do it again. The only thing about that is that, so we're not going to put it in the last one that we did. We're going to put it in the middle one. So this is the last one. So the one right next to it, that middle one, is actually where we could also place our stitch marker to help us identify. So we're going to, remember, so I said 1, 2, 3. These are the ones that are in the same hole. So we want to do 3 again, but we want to do it in the middle one of those 3. So here's the first, the last one of those 3, right? So it's just going to get 1. Then this top one is the one that we're going to do our increase in. We're going to do our 3 there. So 1, 2, and 3. And what we're going to do there also is we're going to place a stitch marker in the middle one. That way we know that's exactly where we're going to put our 3 when we get to that point. And then we're just going to continue going all the way around, 1 in each of them. Okay. One in each. I feel like the rest of the video really is self-explanatory. So I'm going to stop here. And you can just go ahead and follow along with her as she does it. If I find that it's still a little tricky in some spots, or not, rather just not beginner friendly, I'll do another video to kind of break it down. But yeah, that's what she's doing there. So we got back to the end now. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. I'm going to flip my work over. I'm not going to do any chains. I'm just going to go ahead and start right here, and I start in this first one, okay, with a single crochet. And I'm going to continue going all the way up. All right, and remember, we moved that point, that stitch marker, we moved it this time to the right location, because remember, the first time I had you putting it in the last stitch, but what we really want to do is put it in the middle stitch. Okay, so we get all the way up here, and here's our one where we're going to put the 3 in the same one. Okay, 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to make sure that we put our stitch marker in that that second one right there. And we're going to keep going all the way down. And that's it. Keep doing that until you have the bra cup the size that you need it to be, and go from there. Like I said, I'll follow up with another video if I feel like it's warranted at this time. All right, happy crocheting. And yeah, it's gonna curve.